Well, the US president is facing trouble at home, now admitting that he's under investigation as part of a probe into Russian meddling in the US election. And a source says he's adding a top Washington lawyer to his defense team. Well, our Athena Jones is at the White House. Athena, what should we make of the fact that he is increasing his legal team?
Hi, Linda. I think this shows how seriously the president is taking this matter. As you mentioned, he added a new lawyer, well-known lawyer, John Dowd, based here in D.C. This is a lawyer who represented or it helped investigate a Major League Baseball player several years ago for gambling on behalf of the Major League Baseball Association. And he also represented John McCain, Senator John McCain, back in 1990 during a corruption scandal. McCain was cleared of any wrongdoing in that scandal. So this is yet one more high-powered attorney the president is adding to his legal team to help him deal with these ongoing investigations that have clearly very much frustrated and angered him. That is why we're seeing him lash out on Twitter. One thing that's interesting to note here is that for several weeks now, the president's team here at the White House, officials here, have refused to answer any questions about these investigations. You can imagine they get a lot of questions about these investigations. The other day, on Thursday, a deputy spokesperson dodged questions 8 times, consistently referring us to the president's outside legal team. But then the president himself takes to Twitter against the advice of lawyers and also people who support him and says these questionable things on Twitter.
Yeah, his lawyers, Athena, certainly have a battle on their hands just to control his Twitter account because he turned on yet another member of his Justice Department.
Well, this is interesting. You're talking about the tweet from yesterday morning where he says, I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt. Now, witch hunt is one of the president's favorite phrases. We've been seeing him use that a lot on Twitter. But what's so interesting here is that he's referring to the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein. You may remember that when Comey was fired, the FBI director was fired, there was a memo, a rather lengthy memo that Rosenstein wrote criticizing Comey's handling, and in his view, mishandling of the Hillary Clinton email investigation during the 2016 election. And for several days after, or at least 36 hours, let's say, after Comey was fired, White House officials pointed to that memo from Rod Rosenstein as one of the main reasons that Trump decided to fire the FBI director. Trump, within 36 hours or so, gave an interview that completely contradicted his own officials, saying that regardless of any recommendation or any memo that Rosenstein may have presented to him, he was already planning to fire the FBI director, James Comey, who he called a showboat and who he clearly wasn't happy with. So yet again, we get another explanation for the firing of James Comey. And again, we see the president seeming to, if not threaten, then at least express his displeasure at the man now in charge at the Justice Department, because you'll remember that Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself because of his own meetings, undisclosed meetings previously with Russian officials. So it's a bit complicated here, but the bottom line is the president is frustrated about the focus on these ongoing investigations, and he's lashing out on his favorite medium to communicate with his supporters.
He certainly is. And Rosenstein certainly has a reputation for being not political when it comes to his history and reputation as a lawyer. But you have to wonder how all this politicking is affecting his ability to carry out his own job.
Well, exactly. There has been discussion right now about whether Rod Rosenstein himself will have to recuse, which would be yet another recusal in all of this, with the Attorney General Jeff Sessions already having recused himself. And that is precisely because of the role that Rosenstein and this memo I just spoke about, the role he played in the firing of the former FBI Director James Comey. If Special Counsel Bob Mueller is looking into all of this, Rosenstein could find himself a witness in this investigation, which would mean that he would have to recuse himself. So it's a somewhat complicated situation here, and no word yet on whether he ultimately will recuse himself. but a lot going on. A lot of attention is focused on this. And one of the big questions, Lynda, is this taking away from the president's ability to carry out an ambitious agenda? And the answer to that is still, an open one.
It certainly is. Athena Jones bringing some clarity to the muddy waters there in DC. Thanks so much.